One Piece 1062. So much to talk about. Let's get into it. So we start off the chapter with the crew meeting Vegapunk, which is pretty great. I love this interaction, and I love, Usopp and Sanji doing their thing. But Robin and Zoro are holding it down. And it's funny because Vegapunk is unfortunately not the girl we met last chapter, but Vegapunk split his body into the different androids, so it's Vegapunk's personalities into 6 different robots. And right away we see something is a little strange, mainly with Vegapunk being like, hey, Straw Hats, we are robbing you. Give us all your loot. And that's kind of weird right there as to why Dr. Vegapunk needs money. I mean, the government is funding them. They ran through their supply, but wouldn't you want to give Vegapunk as much money as humanly possible to keep making crazy inventions for you guys? It just doesn't make really much sense as to why they aren't. So it seems like the government's kind of worried about Vegapunk, so they're not giving him as much money to keep him in check, but at least a lot of questions right there. But the best part about this was the other Vegapunk personalities were saying, hey, number 2, you're going a little crazy. Look at what's going on. And you see Zoro and Robin posted up, ready to attack. And the thing is, Vegapunk's just like, yo, the Devil Child is a problem, but Zoro, he already has his hand on the blade. 1.11 billion, baby. And he's like, look, those imbeciles already surrounded the Straw Hat crew, and Zoro has you in his sight. So we have to be cautious. This is an Emperor crew. This is not no run-of-the-mill pirates. And then Zoro's just like, I'm glad you realize that. He's like, hey, Vegapunk, there's something I want from you, so you better play nice. Oh my god, I love scenes like this where it shows Zoro as the number 2. I'm a Zoro fanboy at heart. I love to see him as my number 2. And then we get a bombshell with Jewelry Bonnie, and she says, Kuma is my dad. And that's why I'm doing all this stuff, which was definitely a curveball I wasn't really expecting, mainly with all the hints pointed to Big Mom being Jewelry's parent, but she is the daughter of Kuma, and that's why she cares so much in trying to save Kuma. And everyone else doesn't really care that Kuma is a robot except for Jinbei. Jinbei's like, hey, that's horrible. But then we get some of the best parts about One Piece, and it's the exploration of a new area. So they get to Vegapunk's amusement park in the island, and it's really cool to see them going through everything. There's dinosaurs, there's rides, but it's all looks like it's light refractions because Luffy's trying to try it all out, but it's just refractions from light. And my favorite little thing was Luffy got mad that the food was just a refraction of light, and then he goes gear 5th, like Pseudo. It's kind of like a Super Saiyan power up. I think that's pretty cool. It's pretty funny. But the rest of the crew is checking out this island, and then you see another Vegapunk android come out of nowhere, and he no diffs an Emperor, punches Luffy in the face, smacks him, knocks him out. Pretty hilarious that even though Luffy's an Emperor still, he can still take shots like this because he's a kid and still playing around. So it's just weird. I love that no other Emperors would be able to take a hit from Vegapunk, but Luffy being Luffy would be able to take a hit and be pseudo knocked out. But they have this invention where it makes all this new food. But we get to meet the new Vegapunk personality. Her name is Atlas, and they don't really talk too much about why they're split. They just say that they are split. And Atlas introduces this new glove where she can interact with light, which could be used against Kizaru, as if you don't have Haki or if he's too fast, you can still interact with light and hit it, because she's able to hit the holograms and everything else that's walking around. But then my favorite part of this chapter was the end, where we see a world government ship, and who's on it? It is CP0, and it's Lucci, Kaku, and Stussy. And they're talking about how they have to assassinate Vegapunk under the world government's orders. And they also have a Lunarian Kuma kid on their ship. And this is where everything just kind of goes insane. Why are they killing Vegapunk? And Lucci asked the great question, he's like, why are we killing the most significant man in the world if it has something to do with Lulu Shia that just happened? And Cecily's like, you shouldn't ask questions. You of all people should know better. So it is very absurd that men like Lucci and Kaku will follow the government without asking any questions. They'll just do what they're told. And now they're coming back into the story. So let's tackle this issue right here. I don't know how I feel about Lucci and Kaku coming back in the story, because these Straw Hats are so much farther ahead than where they used to be. And I don't know what Lucci and Kaku did over the course of their 2-year training, but if it's anything like Smoker, they're going to get their ass smoked. It would be cool to see a little interaction. But the thing that I can think that could happen is when they go to assassinate Vegapunk, maybe they make a deal with Vegapunk to be like, hey, unlock our fruits or give us technology that can make us stronger so we can fight Luffy and the crew. That would be okay, but I feel like this arc has so much potential, especially with Devil Fruits, because in an SBS that Oda said, and many chapters ago, he said that we will learn more about Devil Fruits and their origins when we meet a certain man named Dr. Vegapunk. Well, we met him, and this is our time, so maybe the crew and Devil Fruit users will be able to get some unlocked ability through science from this laboratory. But we also have Little Kuma Lunarian, and I really want to see someone fight this Little Kuma, just because I don't know how strong these Lunarians are. I assume they are very strong based on the Lunarian Boa that fought Blackbeard and went toe-to-toe with Blackbeard. I assume they're very strong, but I'm very excited for what this arc entails. Well, there's so much to do here, but I feel like the scientific technology, I hope Frankie gets a big upgrade, because, you know, he's at his Almater's research facility, the guy he looks up to the most. I would love to see him. So I can see this as a really good arc to set the crew up for the final fight. And hopefully the crew, especially like the weaker ones like Usopp, Nami, and Chopper, they need to get stronger before we go to this final fight. Because Frankie, Nami, Usopp, Chopper, none of them know hockey. They definitely need to know hockey by the end of the series, especially for the final war. So hopefully at this, they can have a great training arc, or at least get some technology that has Sea Prism Stone in it, so they don't need to have necessarily hockey. But the crew definitely needs a big upgrade, and with the Land of Science, I feel like this is a great time for a lot of the characters to get some much needed buffs. But I am very excited for this arc. I cannot wait to figure out where Devil Fruits come from and all the lore drops that are going to happen. But I am already in love with this. I can't wait to see what happens with CP0 and the Lunarian Kuma. I literally feel like there's going to be a huge battle at the end of this. But if it's a little mini arc, that'd be great too. I'm also very curious as to what Zoro wants. What does he want from this? Like, what he says, I need something from Vegapunk, but Oda's always blowing my mind. In this arc, I thought we were going to go to Elbaf, but I'm actually very happy with Egghead arc. So let me know what you guys think about it in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe. But I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.